All right, everybody, good morning. This is Dan Garodnick speaking, Chair of the City Planning Commission. Welcome to a special review session, February 22, 2022. I want to note that that I am coming to you along with Edith Sue Chen from Borough Hall in Brooklyn. We want to thank the Borough President, Antonio Reynoso, for allowing us to be virtual and in his magnificent conference room. So thank you to him. He wanted us to have flags of the Borough of Brooklyn behind us, but I told him that we needed our official backdrop. But just know there are flags of Brooklyn behind me. With that, we have a quorum. Ryan, I'm going to turn to you. We have a short agenda today.
That's right. Thank you. Good morning and welcome to the New York City Planning Commission special review session for Tuesday, February 22nd, 2022. The time is 10:01 a.m. and a quorum is present. The first item on the agenda is a City Council modification scope determination for 749 Van Sinderen Avenue. The City Council proposes to modify the zoning text amendment to strike MIH option 2 and add the deep affordability option. Staff believe that this modification is within scope.
Great, thank you very much, Ryan. Let me see if there are any questions or comments about this first item. I do not see any questions or comments. So with that, I'm going to ask for assent by a voice vote to send a letter to the City Council that the proposed modification is within scope. So all of those in favor, please say yay.
Yay.
Yay. All opposed, nay. Seeing none, we will proceed. Thank you all for that first item. Ryan, let's go on to the second.
Yep, the second item on the agenda is a City Council modification scope determination for 2892 Nostrand Avenue. The City Council proposes to modify the zoning text amendment to strike MIH option 2 and add the deep affordability option. Staff believe that this modification is also within scope.
Questions, comments from the commission? Seeing none, I'm going to ask for assent by voice vote to send a letter to the City Council that the proposed modification is within scope. All those in favor, please say yay.
Yay.
Opposed, nay. The yays have it. We will send the letter. Thank you, Ryan. Let's go on to the next.
The third item on the agenda is a City Council modification scope determination for 2134 Coil Street rezoning. The City Council proposes to modify the zoning text amendment to strike MIH option 2 and add the deep affordability option. Staff believes that this modification is within scope.
Great. Thank you. I'm sensing a trend. Let's see if there's any questions, comments from the commission.
I just have one question of clarification. I'm sorry. The deep affordability just means more a higher rate for the affordable housing than MIH, right?
That's right. Yeah, it changes the average. I believe it lowers the affordability requirements for the affordable units, but I believe it's still 20% of the floor area ratio.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Seeing other commissioners raising hands, I do not see anybody raising hands. So I will ask for assent by voice vote to send a letter to the City Council that the proposed modification is within scope. All those in favor, please say yay.
Yay.
Opposed, nay. All right.
Right.
Yays or ayes have it. So Ryan, let's go to the next and final item on the agenda today.
The fourth item on the agenda is a City Council modification scope determination for the open restaurants, sidewalk cafes, citywide text amendment. I will note that Commissioner Cirillo is recused on this item. We still have a quorum. I want to note that as well, and that Ben Huff is here to describe the modification.
Okay, good morning, commissioners. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Great. Okay, you could go to the next slide. So the City Council's Land Use Committee voted to approve the open restaurant zoning text amendment with 2 modifications that change the effective date of the zoning text amendment. And so I'm gonna go through these modifications and what they mean, and before we stay on, in case the commission has any questions. So the council modified the language in the text amendment that states rules to be adopted by the Department of Transportation to a broader definition of authorized agency. This applies to sections 1401, 32411, 3305, 4303, and 5234. So this modification provides council with the flexibility to broadly consider the open restaurants legislation, which has since been introduced after the text amendment was, and this will allow them to reserve the final determination on which appropriate agency hosts the open restaurants program. Second, the City Council modified section 32411 to also be included in the provision that will link the effective date of the sidewalk cafe zoning changes to the subsequent enactment of authorizing legislation and adoption of initial rules governing the permanent open restaurants program. So this section, just to remind the commission, is related to the full enclosure rule of restaurants in certain districts. And this will now also not go into effect until the legislation and rules are adopted. DCP does not believe these modifications to the text amendment will have any environmental impact. And with that, myself and Carolyn Grossman-Marr of Regional Planning will stay on and answer any questions you may have.
Great, thanks, Ben. Let me ask commissioners, please just use the raise hand function if you have questions. I see a couple. Vice Chair Knuckles, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair. With regard to provision 1 of the amendment, that seems to mean that the council in its infinite wisdom could determine that a city agency other than the Department of Transportation would administer the open restaurants legislation. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, the modification the City Planning Commission enacted was very clear that Department of Transportation had to be the agency that would receive the open restaurants program and adopt the initial rules. And so we're just kind of clarifying the language to make it broader, that would allow the council to consider other agencies that could be involved in the program.
Do you know what those?
And if I could just add.
Oh, yeah.
Wait. Oh, is that Carolyn? Go ahead.
Vice Chair, if I could just add, certainly the administration still feels very confident that DOT is the correct agency. It is the agency that is running the emergency program. It is the agency that is being set up to run a permanent program. So I just want to say that this is not, in our opinion, a move from that position, but given the timing of the text amendment and the ability for the council to consider its legislation in good faith, we understood the desire to make the text amendment not contingent on the words Department of Transportation. But we do still believe that that is the ultimate goal here, and that's the legislation will be working towards making the agency best positioned to run that program.
I see.
Any further questions, Mr. Vice Chairman?
No, I was just wondering the possibility, would it redound to city planning? But
I knew you were thinking that. I knew you were thinking that. I would say that's a highly unlikely scenario here, but the way I interpret it is the council needs, as you say, in its infinite wisdom, needs a little bit more time to sort out some of those details. And look, it is what it is. It seems clear to me that DOT is the right agency, but we will work with them and help support this process. So, but I strongly suspect it will not be. for the
Okay.
Department of City Planning. Commissioner Rampersad.
Yeah, I had the same exact question. I wasn't sure what authorized agency meant, whether it was the Department of Buildings or Department of Transportation, but they clearly answered the question. So thank you so much.
Great, thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Let me see if there are other commissioners with hands raised. Seeing none, I'm going to give a last opportunity here. Any final questions? Okay, so I'm going to ask for sent by voice vote to send a letter to the City Council that the proposed modification here is within scope. All those in favor, please say yay.
Yay.
Opposed, nay. Seeing none, we will go ahead and send that letter. Ryan, any further business of the day today for us to be considering?
No, Chair Veronica.
Okay, well, thank you very much to you and the staff for preparing all of us for today's review session. We thank the commissioners for being available on short notice. We know that this was an out of the mold get together. But with that, we are going to close. So thanks everybody for being here today.
Take care.
See you
before
soon.
you
Okay,
close,
thank you. Oh, I'm sorry.
before
Did
you
you have
close, is this, no, I just wanted to let the record reflect that I did join the meeting and I did vote. I came on a little bit late, but I did hear the rhetoric and I did vote.
Great. Thank you. We've got you,
Thank you,
Commissioner.
sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Take care.
See you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a good day.